Hey, beautiful human. So today I just want to run through a funnel that created 241 customers for me in 61 days organically. I haven't ever run any sorts of ads or things like that, even though maybe I may prep for them in the future. But because I have an audience of about 47,000 on LinkedIn or so, and then toying with Instagram and little automations here and there, it's been really fun sort of watching the customers come through. So these are people who have paid. I've got two screenshots here. One is on Thrivecart, a little system that I use for the checkout pages. You can see I had 198 orders on the little funnel I'm about to show you. And then I did another one on Kit just to A/B test. I know I changed the name and stuff a little bit. It was 43 purchases here on the Kit snapshot. So it was a total of 241 customers over the last 61 days. And what I want to do is sort of run you through the reasoning behind it, right? So before we get into the actual funnel, I doodled this kindergarten drawing here for you. You've got social media, which goes to the little, two-step landing page. And then we get a series of 3 emails. So today, what I want to show you, I'm not going to talk about social media. I'm going to talk about this little site over here. I'm also not going to talk about the emails. Maybe I'll do a separate video for that in the future. But I just wanted to assume, if you are on social, you're posting, and maybe you want to have a funnel like this, it's super easy. So what I did do is I had a page like this that basically says, watch this 5-minute video of how I use Google Docs to land 1 to 5K clients weekly. Do a little screenshot and they opt in, they give me their email, and then basically it redirects to this page over here. So I say, welcome to the community, watch the free video. So when they opt in, it's like, oh, I'm curious how this person solves this pain point. So in my world, a big present pain is a lot of consultants or coaches, service providers I deal with are like, I'm taking too many sales calls, I'm sending too many DMs, etc. So I doubled down on that pain point because my LinkedIn audience, my email audience, my Instagram audience was sort of telling me that is my pain point. So I created this video just explaining the behind the scenes of exactly how I'm doing it with a simple Google Doc. I'm on my own. I don't have a team. I don't do cold outbound or any sort of stuff like that. So I'm basically telling a story here in the same room, same mic, same setup here, of how I'm doing it, and then showing or giving them an opportunity to grab the doc, right? So I'm making them a little offer and saying, hey, this is it if you want it, and give them a chance to purchase it, right? So I'm also sort of, I've designed it a little bit and given it a little more clarity on the aesthetic side. It used to be like a really, really simple version of this done on like Kit, and then recently sort of redid it a little bit. But essentially what I'm saying is a little story of how I've been doing this outcome on my own, where I send a doc and people pay in full. I show proof of my Stripe balance and then tell them, this template I'm about to give you takes about 60 minutes to modify. Then you can use it over and over and over again. I'm also diffusing any doubts that they have, or I sort of say, this is the reason why it works so well, because it doesn't require the pain points that people have told me previously, even when I took sales calls. These were the things that I was feeling, right? The endless call cycles, the live launches, the setters, the closers, the big team, the free webinar funnels that people do all the time. So this document sort of removes all of that, and that's what I'm explaining. And it's built for these people that I call out, who want to sell their premium service in a very different way. I built this on GPT, nothing too fancy, just a little prompt. And then I'm now moving and saying, if you want to skip all of this stuff, this is why I have this. I always say this is for you if, or this is not for you if, so they can start to nod and go, oh, this person gets me, right? So if what you're doing is great, which sort of says, hey, you may not be a beginner and you want a hybrid approach, whether you're doing sales calls or not, you want to raise your rates, you're not sure how to package your offer, I'm telling you this is what all the things you're going to get, right? So I'm sort of giving them the template, I'm giving them the psychology and the walkthrough behind how to plug and play, like really hands off. And in copywriting, you know, a lot of people say like, you got to build your brand, build your product, and building takes a lot of time. Whereas when we look at this copy, when I say all you're going to do is plug and play, you're going to take what I'm giving you, it also diffuses those doubts. You know, they can see the immediate effects. Obviously, I won't get into nerding out on copy here, but I just wanted to run you through what this is. So you don't need to be a copywriter. You don't need to sweat it in the DMs. All those thoughts that they may have, I'm sort of, you know, canceling one by one and then saying, you know, this is what you start seeing in your account if that happens. And I show proof of other students that are doing the same thing right here and talking about how they did it. And then I give them where I was. Like the old way of doing this was this way, the new way is that way. You know, previously myself as well, I had to take like 60-minute calls and try to convince someone because I ran a sales-driven business. I would like post on LinkedIn, chase everybody, push them through to a call, book it, and then show up. Versus now where I just send my little document and get paid. So I'm showing who they may be, which was me essentially talking to myself, and who they can be, which is my current reality. Also, I'm future pacing them into what is going to happen. I'm not like BSing, going, ooh, I want to change your life in like 60 minutes. I'm being really realistic, right? Like on day one, yes, it takes 60 minutes because I'm going to give you a plug and play document. And the reality is I went through 89 iterations with my email list, right? I've got about 160 students at this moment that I'm consulting and helping sort of build their business. So those are people that came into the program with this document that I'm about to give, right? And it takes approximately 60 minutes, but I'm not going to say you're going to get the results. Like I've seen so many fake pages out there that do these false promises. I'm then saying day 2, you can send it to warm leads. I'm also saying I'm not giving you the scripts, you know, the DMs that you're going to send. We're solving this one problem here, right? And then you may see your first, you know, premium offer come through without a sales call. Then on week 2, you can raise your price, you can refine your message, you can actually iterate on it, and watch your doc become that silent salesperson within 15 to 30 days, right? So completely realistic, which people have come back and said, man, I really appreciate the honesty here, which I'm glad, because I never intended to make any false promises. And then this is where the doubts come in, right? Just like in a sales call, they're going, will this work for me? So everything I heard, I put on this landing page and I said, you know, maybe you've tried templates that didn't work. They're generic. This one has buying psychology and it's not a script. My offer is unique. So okay, great. This is a template that adapts to your voice. Or people expect calls in my space. Well, I also thought the same thing. So I'm just saying in this document, it's written in a way that everything I got on sales calls, and hopefully you got too, is handled, right? I'm not a great writer. I get this a lot. Like, Jacob, you're good at that. And I'm going, that's why I made it plug and play and gave you examples of like different coaches and service providers to get every sort of niche, so you can see the plug and play. I don't have a big audience. Well, you don't need one. This works with small leads, inbound DMs, small lists. You know, I've had students with 300 followers do the same thing. So that's where this objection came through. Now, what I'm doing here is, instead of doing what I previously did in the past, which was sort of add a previous rendition of this exact page, had like a timer, and I said the offer's gone in 72 hours and then 48 and had the timer. I chose to remove that because upon reflection, when I recently had a daughter and business has shifted, both, you know, life, mindset, and all of that as well, I was like, I don't want to attract somebody who needs scarcity and urgency to move. What I want to do is get someone who goes down the rabbit hole, watches videos like this, is invested long term, and doesn't need urgency to take action. So I added a bonus, and I said, for the first time, this is the TSSI content framework I used to give inside my program or sell separately. I'm including it because a lot of people said, yeah, okay, Jacob, I've got an offer. How do I then get inbound traffic? So I was like, you know what? I want to add it in here. I want to give you the content framework. So when you're thinking about it in whatever niche you're at, do you have something that's super valuable that you could include as a bonus? Because for me, this bonus gets a lot of people to purchase it. They're like, oh, I'm also going to know how to market it his way. And I put in all the examples and all of that in there on the content side. And then I do another bonus. Like people say, how do you run your business? That has been a big question. So I had a second bonus, and I'm like, I'm going to break down my entire model for you. So in the event that you want to model parts of it, you also get that training, right? And it's driven this outcome over this time frame, and I'm sharing here what I'm going to show, right? And then basically add a third bonus where, for me, a lot of my own sort of thing was, Jacob, can you review the offer? So all of those reviews, over 250 clients, I built a prompt that they just plug in, and then they have their own offer. So this is what I said about building earlier, about copywriting, like build your audience, build this, build that people do, and they wonder why people don't buy. I'm saying all you have to do is literally do the prompt, and then you get the result. So I'm saying I'm making it even easier for you. So they're starting to see, for the price they're paying, the value they're getting, right? Causes an imbalance that favors them. Showing a little bit of character here with the sort me out bro side as well. And then I'm also explaining, in case they wonder, what is going to happen as soon as I buy. So I tell them, you get instant access via email. You get the walkthrough video waiting on the other side. You get to personalize your template, and then you can go prospecting, right? Creating content. And then I'm now saying, finally, this is what you're getting. And I'm telling them exactly what they're getting for this price. Obviously, in the video up above, I explain, like, my intention isn't to give you all this crazy stuff for so cheap, just because I know that people who've done this then wanted access to more of my products and services. And that's my intention, because this $49 product for me acts as like a little indoctrination of my world, and what I can do. And then they go, okay, I understand. So for me, the big unlock was, once they get this, which is step one of my entire model that I mention over here, then step 2 and 3 almost becomes like a no-brainer. So I usually get questions like, how do we continue working together? It's not an irrelevant product. Like I've seen people on LinkedIn say, grab my 10 hooks, or, here's 3 formatting tips in a Notion board on how to, format your LinkedIn posts, or whatever that may be, how to create a viral carousel. This product, the way that I thought about it, has continuity, right? Like once they do it. So that is where my head was at. Then I say it's risk-free. Like if you don't love it, I'll give you everything back. So it diffuses almost like a guarantee, right? Or it is a guarantee. And then I sort of go into more Q&As, right? I explain, I'm not a good writer. Will it work for me? It seems cheap. What's the catch? So I'm being really honest, just like I told you now. How fast can I see results? Do I need fancy tools? What if they don't bite? And I'm diffusing everything and then saying, I want instant access. So this is the funnel that I sort of created. It's a 2-step thing, right? It's got an opt-in, and then it's got this little landing page over here. So if you're, whether you're a coach, a consultant, a service provider, do it, if that sort of resonates. And one little takeaway for me, because in the past I used to have the timer, and also I used to give away a free lead magnet. I used to get crazy amounts of people opting in for the free lead magnet. So I chose to have an explainer video instead of a lead magnet, and actually sunsetted and let it fizzle out when it was sort of the previous version, because I was attracting the wrong type of person. So this way, even though I'm getting less people opt into the list to watch this free video, I'm getting a buyer or a lead that is a lot more interested in what I do. And for the $50, that's sort of, if you remember the little drawing here, I'm getting people into my email list that are more so customers now because, you know, they're buying this. And for the people who aren't, they have a higher intention, right? And that's where the 3 emails come through later to sort of nurture them a little bit more, and then they get a daily email. So that is the little funnel that created 241 customers for me in 61 days. If you have any questions, you can drop them below. I'll also add the doc here and the funnel in the description below, so you can have a look and explore it and model it if you want. You can hit subscribe, and if you have questions, shoot, and I'll see you in the next video.